Alrighty, let's get to it. So I'm going to talk briefly about the type of equipment that you're going to want to use for oxyacetylene welding. Okay, so first let's talk about eye protection. It's really important that we're wearing safety glasses at all times, and depending on if you wear prescription glasses or not, these goggles may or may not work for you. Okay, just keep in mind that the one issue that we will always face with goggles, or sometimes they kind of look like safety glasses, is that if you take your safety glasses off to put on your protection, you want to make sure that as soon as you take your goggles off, or whatever the case is, that you put your safety glasses back on. There's a few different options for you. They have one similar to this that flip up, so momentarily you can see kind of what you're doing, and then flip this down to actually start welding. Remember, we're using a shade 5 as a minimum for welding and cutting. You can go up from there. Sometimes if you're doing really light applications, you can go lower, but as a general standard, we're going to use a shade 5. It's very important with oxyacetylene welding that we're wearing the proper shade, because that flame, even though maybe it's not as bright or as shock to your eyes as, let's say, welding is, like an electric arc, but it emits infrared light, which can really damage your eyes, and it actually cooks your eyeballs from the back out. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It is dangerous. Even though you can still look at the flame, you might not be instantly harmed. The damage will be done to you by that infrared light. There's a couple other options. Okay, you can see right here, this is a grinding shield with a shade 5 flip down lens. This is what I like. It's really nice. I can flip it up when I'm grinding, and when I'm either plasma cutting, oxyfuel cutting, or welding, I can flip this down. I like it a lot, and I wear glasses, so it's just another layer of protection. And when I take it off, I still have my safety glasses on at all times. There's goggles here, and then depending on if your helmet will go down to a shade 5 or not, you need to make sure it goes down to a shade 5. I see a lot of times people trying to use their helmet and it goes to like a shade 7. In that case, it won't work because it'll be too dark for you to be able to see what you're doing and make a good, precise weld. So make sure that. Another thing is, it's always good to just have 2 sets of equipment, okay? I've seen a lot of people when they first start oxyacetylene welding ruin their helmets because they get too close to the flame and they actually melt their helmet. So we don't want that. If your helmet doesn't go down to a shade 5, go ahead and grab something else to suit your needs. You're gonna want a sparker, okay? This is a flint striker. This is gonna help you strike your flame, okay, and get that going. You're gonna want a tip cleaner. I'll show you how to use that in a bit. And then pliers to move your metal around. And then for gloves, okay? What we don't want are thick, heavy-duty gloves. They do work, but it's very hard to make fine adjustments on those knobs for your acetylene and oxygen. Another note is that you do not want oily gloves. So these are a bad example, okay? Oil and oxygen, pure oxygen, don't mix. It's very flammable and could lead to either flames or even an explosion. So oily gloves are a big no-no. Oily hands are a big no-no. We covered that in the safety video by Dave Reich. But these gloves would show you that you want something with more dexterity. Just make sure, again, they're clean and you don't got oil on them. Alrighty, let's get started.